Hi there, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. My name is Claire Luffman. I know we already have a number of people already on the call, and we're going to be welcoming folks as well as they call in. So first of all, know that you all are muted, so make as much noise as you want. Also, we just want you to get comfy. Just relax, sit back and relax for the next 30 minutes. We just want to give you some value-added information. We want to empower you with information so you can truly become your own best health advocate. So we're going to go ahead and dive on in. I'm going to go ahead and minimize my video here. All right, so again, welcome to the Wellness Chat. We are going to talk about how to naturally combat illness, shed excess weight in inches, and allow our bodies to fix itself. So let's dive on in. Obviously, your friend who invited you to learn more is already on this healing journey. And many of us come to sort of a fork in the road, where we have a decision as far as what we're going to do with our health. Sometimes, it's enough is enough. Sometimes people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they already feel like they've been down one path long enough, where maybe some unhealthy habits, a lot of stress, not a lot of sleep, not really highly nutritional food, maybe relying more on fast food, and just not feeling well, feeling subpar. Maybe a lot of illnesses have come to the surface, like migraines or autoimmune diseases or anxiety or insomnia, and we sort of get to this fork in the road. We say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Let me really take care of myself. But I know sometimes it can be sort of overwhelming, like, well, how do you take care of yourself? And that's what we want to do today, is just sort of simplify that. How could you get on this healing journey as well? So what are we going to chat about over the next 30 minutes? We want to share with you what are the three main root issues of imbalance. There's always a reason, a deep reason or root cause for why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And once we know what those imbalances are, those imbalances that are leading to serious health issues, we can actually start naturally restoring that balance and letting our body do what it was intended to do. It has the incredible ability to heal itself. We're also going to give you some fabulous tips. How can you actually eat more of the right foods to help you lose stubborn inches and unhealthy fat? We're going to talk about a very simple exercise to turn your body into a fat burner. I know that some of you might be great with exercise, right? And there's lots of other benefits of exercise, right? Heart health, it gets your endorphins, burst in, and it gets you feeling good. And socialization, it's a habit, but especially for folks who just are not getting enough movement and who do want to lose weight, and they're saying that time is an issue, we want to talk about how to do a simple exercise to actually turn your body into a fat burner by, get this, only working out 30 minutes a week. We're not even talking about 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a week. Also, we want to share there are some toxic products you're probably in your house right this very moment that yourself, your children are probably using. So we just want to point out just a couple and give you a safer, all-natural solution. Things that you can do, ingredients you probably have in your cupboard right now that is very, very inexpensive, like pennies to make, and that will make you feel so much better knowing you're not putting toxins back into your body. So first of all, what are the three root issues of disease? We've got these three are the core integral piece that's leading to 95% of our health challenges. We've got blood sugar irregularity, and I'm not talking about diabetics. Of course, diabetics have blood sugar irregularity. I'm talking about all the rest of us. We've got these up and down spikes, these up and down swings, not as great as diabetics, but it's impacting us from head to toe. We've got chronic inflammation. Our bodies are inflamed. They are fighting, unfortunately, the wrong enemy. They are chronically inflamed instead of being acutely inflamed, even down to the cellular level, like our cell membrane is even inflamed, and very, very poor digestive health. So let's dive on a little bit deeper here. First of all, with blood sugar swings. So you see here in the middle, right, some stable blood sugar, they're saying is, between 80 to 120. And when we can maintain our blood sugar all throughout the day, that's when our body can start releasing some of the fat from the cells that it's been storing in the cells. That's when it can actually restore that lean muscle. We're not going to have the cravings as greatly. We have more energy, more clarity, more concentration. Now, obviously, blood sugar spikes for diabetics can be quite high, 200, 300, and we know all of the dangerous issues that can come along with diabetics. But when we're talking about spikes in blood sugar, you'd be surprised how that whole wheat bread that you're having your turkey sandwich on, the spike in the blood sugar, right? So it's hidden in everything, ketchup, things you would not even think. We are consuming so much sugar It is crazy, even when we feel like we're being healthy. Now, guys, you know, when we're having our bagels, you know, our sweet tea, our donuts, of course, you're going to have a huge increase in blood sugar. Also going to have an increase in blood sugar when we're dehydrated. And most Americans are chronically dehydrated, simply not having enough water. And then we're going to have a drop in blood sugar because maybe stress, maybe we're skipping a meal, we're a little late in eating a meal. Maybe we're on a diet. Maybe we're exercising on an empty stomach. So we've got this drop. And when we have a drop, we're going to have those cravings. We're going to have an energy crash. We're going to be pretty darn moody. Our body is going to hold on to fat and unfortunately burn muscle, exactly the opposite of what we want. It's nearly impossible to release fat when our blood sugar is too high or our blood sugar is too low. So all of us are having these up and down swings that's impacting our body. You hear that saying, you know, if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. If our blood sugar's not happy, our body's not happy. This is actually showing some things when our blood sugar stays too high for diabetics. So you know it impacts head to toe with strokes, with heart issues, with kidney failure, with like the nerve and blood vessels. So needing to have amputations, you know, their feet cut off, their legs cut off. So this is a serious, serious issue. But what about all of us that if we went and we had our blood sugar done, it's normal, you know, our A1C number is normal. But again, this blood sugar irregularity is impacting our mood, our energy, our concentration. Our sugar cravings and our hunger is increased, and we simply can't lose weight. We're like, what the heck? I feel like I'm doing everything. I feel like I'm really watching what I'm eating. Now, a lot of migraines or headaches, people might not think it has anything to do with that, but blood sugar and hormones are tied so closely together. And if our blood sugar is like all over the place, it's impacting our hormones. So a lot of folks that are dealing with migraines or everyday headaches, when they can maintain that blood sugar level throughout the day, they're amazed at the relief that they get. Or like PCOS, that's an insulin-driven illness. Hormonal imbalances, people think they're having hot flashes just because it's the time of the year or the time of their life. Amazing, again, when they can just start regulating that blood sugar. So much relief can come from just keeping our blood sugar in that healthy, stable level throughout the day. The second root issue is chronic inflammation. So inflammation is the body's attempt at self-protection. So let's say that you cut your finger. Let's say you actually even have a thorn in your finger. You have something in your finger, right? And what is your finger going to do? It's going to protect itself. So it becomes what you would visually see is like red and swollen, but that's the body's natural way to heal. And that's just acute inflammation. So you take out that thorn and your body's going to heal itself. When it becomes an issue with our health is when it's chronic. When it's trying to remove, like the harmful stimuli is not just a thorn we can take out, but it's toxins in our body. It's stuff that's in our body that's constantly in our body. And that's where the issue is. And inflammation, if you Googled inflammation and when you have this chronic inflammation, some of the most serious things it leads to is things like cancers, Alzheimer's, you know, heart issues, cardiovascular. So for me, I had chronic inflammation. I didn't know it was a big issue. My muscles were always inflamed and swollen and burning, and I did everything. You know, the chiropractic work, massage therapy, dry needling, I did it all. And unfortunately for me, it did sort of manifest into cancer, stage 3C breast cancer, no family history or anything. So inflammation is a serious, serious thing. There's even inflammation now down to the very cell, you know, at the cellular level. So if our cell membrane is so darn inflamed, and a lot of the causes are the sugars, the bad fats, you know, the corn oil, the toxins, things we're putting on our body, toxins from the foods we're eating, from the air we're breathing, sort of reminds you of middle school science, right? You have the cell membrane and good stuff should go in, what the cell needs for energy and food and nutrients. And then it does what it needs to do, and then the waste and toxins should be released from that cell. But if the cell membrane is so darn inflamed, the good stuff can't go in, the bad stuff can't go out. So that cell becomes sort of this toxic cesspool. And then it has one of two choices. It's either going to die, premature aging, or mutate when we get into the whole world of cancers. Another thing with with inflammation is, a big part of it is sort of this toxic overload that we have. And sort of a visual to give yourself is that we were all given, assume, like this toxic bucket at birth, like this big old red bucket. And it should have been totally empty at birth, right? That is the intent. And that our body's resilient, it can handle things, right? You start pouring in toxins and different infections we've been dealing with and just the stresses of life. And it's not going to become a major issue until that toxic bucket becomes full and it starts overflowing. And our toxic bucket is overflowing younger and younger and younger. They're saying the average newborn is already born with 270 known toxins in their umbilical blood cord. So that toxic bucket that should have been empty is already, 75, 80% full. And it's not taking much for our children now to be dealing with things, ADHD, autism, food allergies, out the yin yang, concentration issues, asthma, migraines at such a young age. So our toxic buckets are overflowing. We need to find a way to start removing some of that toxic stuff in our bucket. We need to get some room and some space in that toxic bucket. The third thing is poor gut health. So these little guys are bacteria. Now we have trillions and trillions of bacteria all throughout our digestive system, which we should have. Now, the problem is when the ratio of good guys versus bad guys gets totally out of whack. So a good, healthy body where you feel great, your immune system is strong, your body's able to create all the hormones that it needs to create, that would mean that about 80 to 90% of the bacteria is good, healthy bacteria. And only a small amount is the unhealthy bacteria, and only a little bit of what's called candida yeast, which we need a little bit for digestion, and actually one of the main reasons too, not unfortunately, but when we die, it's one of the main things that helps our body sort of decompose. Now, what happens if I look at most Americans' digestive system, it's totally flip-flop. The mass majority is bad, harmful bacteria. It's outcrowded the good guys, and it's let this yeast grow out of control. So what that is doing is it's leading to inflammation in the digestive system, especially leaky gut. So what causes this inflammation? What causes all the good bacteria to be killed off, right? So drugs, antibiotics, most people have been on the antibiotics. There's definitely, thank goodness for antibiotics, right? There's a time and place. There's definitely been a way, over prescription of antibiotics. Antibiotics means anti-life, like it kills everything. It kills off the bad bacteria, but also wipes out the good guys. And guess what is most easily and readily replaced in the digestive system? The bad bacteria. So toxins, stress, the bad foods we're eating, some of the food now that is really inflammatory to our digestive system that's very different just in the last 30 to 40 years. Like gluten is different, it's genetically modified, corn is genetically modified, most of the soy is genetically modified. Our body's having a really hard time to digest it. It's like, what the heck is this? So what happens is you see this diagram here. It's the membrane, right? The lining of the digestive system. And what's happening is now when there's these big gaping holes, which is why they call it leaky gut, things that should not be leaking out into our bloodstream, like undigested food, waste, toxins, is leaking out to our bloodstream. And our body's doing what it should be doing. Our bloodstream is saying that should not be here in the blood. And it creates these antibodies against it, right? That's what a vaccination is. It's a little something in your bloodstream that shouldn't be there. Your body says it shouldn't be there, creates antibodies against it. So if ever it was exposed to that again, it would fight it. However, if your everyday foods are leaking out into our bloodstream, creating antibodies against it, guess what? You're most likely going to be exposed to it the very next day. But most people have no idea that their bloating, their fatigue, their anxiety, that has anything to do with this leaky gut actually happening. Now, leaky gut, it causes havoc from head to toe. So obviously people can get their head around, if they've got diarrhea, acid reflux, IBS, constipation, they think of that as more of digestive issues, right? And a lot of times it does start there. So I had IBS for, 20 years. It was just a way of life. I thought it was more of an embarrassment, inconvenience. Little did I know it was my body's sort of first way of waving that white flag. And unfortunately, if I went around this circle, I can be like, yep, Yep. You know, thyroid disease. Yep. Adrenal fatigue. Yep. Fibromyalgia. Yep. I can go around and around, because if you've got a leaky gut and those antibodies are being created, what happens is those antibodies, they are attacking, but they're attacking the wrong thing. It's turning on itself. It's turning on the body, and it's going to sort of first attack whatever the weakest link is. For many people, it's their thyroid. For some, it might be their joints, and it's manifesting into rheumatoid arthritis. For some, it's their lungs. It's asthma. So, and unfortunately, once you already have that going on, those antibodies created, it's attacking your body. And a lot of times that the autoimmune diseases are treated with more like symptom suppression, right? Instead of getting to the root of the issue. Let's close up that leaky gut. Let's not have that immune response keep going, but that's not the way it's generally treated. Or people might not think that any type of skin issues, right? Acne, rosacea, psoriasis, that's a clear sign that something's generally up with the digestive system, that there's way too much bad bacteria, and specifically yeast. It's actually leaking out through the largest organ. So who would think, right? Normally you treat eczema probably topically, but let's actually deal with the gut. Let's get the gut healthy. Let's restore that gut health, and amazing things can happen. Or who would think that anxiety, right? Think if you start researching where the majority of your hormones, like your happy hormones, your leveling out, balancing hormones, like serotonin, 80% is created in the digestive system. So if our gut ecology is not healthy, meaning too much bad bacteria, not enough good guys, and too much yeast, our body just can't even physically create those hormones on its own. So then many times we're needing to rely on getting the hormone replacement in pill form. So much stems from poor gut health. So we just want to start restoring this balance, and this is what your friend has been working on. So when we can just keep the blood sugar stable throughout the day, when we can start reducing that chronic inflammation in your body, and start reducing some of that toxic load. Let's get some of the toxins out of the cells. Let's start emptying out your toxic bucket. And let's restore good gut health. Let's make sure, let's add back in all the good bacteria. Let's kill off that harmful bacteria, and let's kill off that candida yeast, so you only have a little bit of yeast. And your friend's actually doing it through just 3 plant-based supplements, natural, using God-given ingredients that naturally restore balance to their body, so their body can start healing itself. Amazing things can happen when we stop covering things up with a Band-Aid and we actually get to the root of the issue. You know, gone are the days where we can get, some people might be thinking, ooh, supplements. I actually don't even love the word supplements. I see this as more functional medicine products. Functional medicine meaning getting to the root issue of disease. But you know, gone are the days where we can get all that we need, all the vitamins and nutrients and balance that our body needs from the food, right? We got the pesticides that are really changing the profile of our food. Plus some of it is very, very toxic. We've got so much over farming, right, that they even say the soil is depleted. The soil contains 80% less nutrients than it did just a few decades ago. So we can't get all just from our foods. And guys, I know we're not all eating just whole foods, right? We know we're getting gunk from the processed and boxed foods and the fast food. And so gone are the days. Our body is really needing some help and support. So part of getting healthy, letting your body fix itself, letting your body heal from the inside out. We actually, so your friend is also part of the Fit and Fabulous Wellness Revolution. This is something we do for all of our folks that are naturally restoring their body through these plant-based supplements, is because it's not just supplements, right? We also need to make sure that the foods we're putting in our body are healthy, that we're getting that movement, that we're not adding new toxins to our toxic bucket, you know, on a daily basis. So that's what this Fit and Fabulous Wellness Revolution does. It's a community, it's support, it's completely free, and it's just a way to help people live that healthy life with that support and that accountability and just the simplicity of it. You know, we don't want this to be big and overwhelming. We just want it to be nice and simple. So the second thing we said we were going to talk about was actually how can you eat more to lose weight? Because guys, if we're not eating enough, we already talked about blood sugar, right? and how that's not good when it goes too low. Well, that's going to happen when we're not eating enough. Also, our body adapts. It becomes amazingly good at making the most of whatever food it does get, right? It's not getting enough, so whatever it does get, it's going to start holding onto that in these fat stores. And it actually is going to then start using muscle to provide the energy that you're depriving of it by not eating. We don't want it to store fat and burn muscle. We want it to burn fat, right, and build up muscle. So when we're not eating enough, our metabolism's slowing down. We're, of course, then more apt to make poor food decisions when we're pretty darn hungry. But when you're eating high protein snacks, in between your meals, so eating about 5 times a day, you're giving your body permission to burn up the previous meal for energy. You're increasing your metabolism. You're turning your body now into a fat burner. So here are just some examples of some high protein snacks. Deviled eggs, it doesn't just need to be at the holidays. Make a whole thing of deviled eggs for the week, and that's such a great snack. Or some guacamole on some turkey roll-ups, delicious. Apple slices sprinkled with some vanilla protein powder and cinnamon. Our family loves a chocolate peanut butter shake. It's just 1 cup of coconut milk, which is really good. You need good, healthy fat to burn fat and burn like the unhealthy fat, right, the visceral fat. So 1 cup of coconut milk, 2 scoops of chocolate protein powder. Go ahead and take a picture of the screen if you want that recipe. 1 cup of coconut milk, 2 scoops of chocolate protein powder, 1 heaping tablespoon of organic peanut butter, and 1/2 of a banana ice, and that's it. Mix it on up. Oh my gosh, it is so delicious. And probably one of our favorites is the fat-burning chocolate chip cookie dough recipe. Yes, it tastes like chocolate chip cookie dough, but your kids can actually even have this for breakfast if they wanted. This recipe makes 9 balls. You can obviously double, triple it. You can freeze it, absolutely. And again, take a picture of it if you want the recipe, but it's a 1/3 cup of almond flour. So don't use regular flour, right? That is not going to help. Almond flour or gluten-free flour. Almond flour is just going to give you a lot more protein. 2 scoops, and that's 1/3 of a cup. 2 scoops of vanilla protein powder, and be careful about your protein powder. We don't want the, low quality soy or, we got to be really careful about the protein powder. We want it to be good protein powder without all the excess sugar, and 1 cup of organic peanut butter, 1/4 cup of raw honey, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, which is optional, but hey, how do you have chocolate chip cookie dough without vanilla? And then this is important. It's 1/4 cup of cacao nibs. So it's not cocoa, it's cacao nibs. You can get cacao nibs at a lot of the grocery stores now on Amazon. It is so healthy. It is chock full of antioxidants. If you don't have cacao nibs, just try to see one where it's like 70% or more real cacao, or where it's just the dark chocolate. Like if it's just milk chocolate, it's not going to be the healthiest. So now we just want to mix, roll into balls. Again, you can freeze it. Absolutely delicious. So you can have fun while getting healthy. The third thing, we talked about how to become a fat burner. So I know this might be sort of a pretty drastic picture here, but if you think of the average marathon runner's body compared to the average sprinter's body. So generally a marathon runner, they're running for long distances. Sometimes, many times, they've lost some of that muscle mass. Where the sprinter, they are just, high muscle body. So that's what we're talking about. How do you become a fat burner? Because we're either, for energy, right? Our body's always burning. It's always burning something for energy. It's either burning fat or sugar for energy. Most Americans are staying in sugar burning mode because of our overconsumption of sugars and grains. And, or when we do cardio, let's say we work out, we wait on the treadmill for 30 to 50 minutes or whatever, an hour aerobics class. We're burning fat for that hour, true. But we're only burning sugar the other 23 hours of the day. So where it's different with high intensity interval training, start doing some research on this. Sometimes it's called burst training. This gets your body into fat burning mode the vast majority of the day and even the day after. It also increases the production of HGH. It's human growth hormone, which is phenomenal for muscle growth, for longevity. So once we start getting even into our 30s, our natural production just drastically drops. But burst training increases HGH. So the way you want to do is you want to get, if you have like a heart monitor, you can get on Amazon, get your heart rate to the maximum rate in a massive burst of activity, like 30 to 45 minutes. sprinting, getting on the bike, running upstairs, doing jumping jacks. You want to get your heart rate up. And what does that mean? Getting to the maximum heart rate less your age. So 220 less your age. So let's say that you're 40, you want to go as fast as you can until you get it to 180. Then you're going to rest, sometimes a minute or two, get your heart rate back to normal, and then you do it again. You do another burst. So do about 3 to 4 of those bursts. And guess what? Yes, you're going to be burning sugar during the burst instead of fat, like when you're on the treadmill for an hour. But you're going to be burning fat the other 23 hours plus the very next day, if not a little bit more. So you're only going to do this every other day, or like 3 times a week. That is it. I mean, how phenomenal. And I know this probably is totally against the grain of anything you've thought with, spending hours at the gym, but start doing your own research. This is absolutely amazing way for your body to become so healthy. And then lastly, we said we were going to talk about how to reduce our toxic exposure. And I can give you 50 zillion products in your house, but we're just giving you a little taste of what the folks in the Fit and Fabulous Wellness Revolution get. So they get these do-it-yourself recipes all the time, but there's everyday products that your family's most likely using that's adding to their toxic bucket. We don't want that. We want to be removing from their toxic bucket, right? Many of these common ingredients used in these everyday products are known to be hormone disruptors. Google that. What does hormone disruptors do? It can lead to cancerous tumors, birth defects, other developmental disorders. So I'm just going to talk about 3 common ones and let you know how easy it is to replace your deodorant, your bug spray, and your air fresheners. Guys, if I told you the toxic ingredients, things like aluminum, these are things like deodorant you're putting, on your skin. You know how many lymph nodes are there? Now for me, my breast cancer spread all through my lymph system. So they had taken out the lymph nodes, almost all of them are already cancerous. So I knew sort of from those lymph nodes where it goes in your body, your liver, your kidneys, your colon, so your bones. So I know I don't want to be putting toxic things right there at where all the lymph nodes are, right? So here are some great little recipes. So deodorant, so simple. Half a cup of coconut oil. If you don't have coconut oil, get coconut oil. Coconut oil has 50 zillion different uses. Half a cup of baking soda, and then just some essential oils. Some top of the line essential oils. You can get them from doTERRA, from Young Living. And then there's some female scents. Just get a scent that you like and some male scents. Bug spray, oh my gosh, when you spray bug spray on yourself, don't you think to yourself, oh my gosh, this has to be toxic. Just a half a cup of witch hazel, a half a cup of apple cider vinegar, and that's it. Then go ahead and put some drops of essential oil. Here's some examples, but use whichever one that you want, or you can use some combination of these. And then air freshener, so easy. Just get a glass jar, poke some holes at the lid. You need it to be able to, the scent to be able to go out, and the baking soda to sort of capture any of the odors in the air. Just a half a cup of baking soda and some drops of essential oil, whatever ones you love. I love like the lemon, citrus. It just smells so fresh. So there you go. Those are the 3 root issues of disease and how you can naturally balance your body out. And then again, just a little sneak peek into some of the resources in the Fit and Fabulous Wellness Revolution. It's a private Facebook group. All of the folks that are focusing on getting healthy from the inside out with the natural plant-based supplements just get access to it. One fabulous thing is we do weekly meal plans. We give you a whole week's worth of menus, shopping list, everything. And it's a week's worth of meals that you could use with just a handful, like 20 or less fresh ingredients, exercise, stress reduction tips, snack ideas, again, help replacing the toxic products in your life with natural solutions. We have a live Q&A with a holistic health coach at least once a month, and just a wonderful community for ongoing support and accountability. So now what? Definitely follow back up with your health ambassador who referred you. Let them know what you learned. Let them know what you like the best, what questions you have. Let us be here to support you. We just wanted, again, to empower you with information. Also help spread the word. Who do you know who might enjoy attending an upcoming wellness chat? We'd love to have them. We'd love to share with them. And again, we just appreciate your time. Definitely follow up with your health ambassador. You guys have a great, great day, and we'll all talk soon. Bye.